Hi everyone, I'm Tim Durling. This is Tim's Vinyl Confessions. Thank you very much for watching. On this episode, it's actually going to be a continuation of a couple of things that were on last week's episode. If you watched last week's episode, which is mostly Marley and I making a little road trip to Moncton, which was a lot of fun, but a couple things. First thing is Matt and I are going to talk about where we're at with Unspooled, getting the book done up, sent out. I can't wait to get it sent to everyone. I can't wait to see it myself. We've actually had some last minute orders trickling through, which is really, really, really cool. And the other thing I'm going to talk about is an album that I picked up on that recent road trip. So that's coming up first. Matt and I are going to tell you a little bit about where we're at with Unspooled. We are talking Unspooled. We're working Unspooled. We are just over a week now of completing the campaign, and we're getting ready to print the book, like to send it to be printed and bound, get the rewards sent in, and Matt got some proofs done. And these are so cool. Check this out. This is on high quality cardboard. Give you an idea of what the front, back, and spine of the book will look like. This is so cool. Now I have to say, we've tweaked it a little bit since this was printed, but you get the idea of how it's going to look. What we've got here are what are called end pages. If you've ever opened a book and there's nothing on there, there's either just plain white pages or something with like a couple numbers on it, it's so that it matches up with the back of the book. We'll talk more about that in a bit. So that's what's on that side. Here's what's on this side. I'm not going to show you the whole thing, but this is just really, really, really cool. And this is what's going to be coming to you if you pledged for the book. By now, all of you watching this, if you've pledged at all, you should all have your PDF file by now. So that'll give you an idea of what the book's going to look like when it comes to you. So I'm going to put it over to Matt now, and he's going to describe a little bit of the how the sausage is made in terms of bookmaking.
Hi guys, just wanted to show you a little bit about how we're putting this book together. Now, here we have the Big Book of Hair Metal. Both Tim and I have copies of this. This is actually one of our favorite books. It was written by Mr. Martin Popoff. And actually this was kind of the template that we used when we were creating Unspooled. We're like, if we're gonna do this book, we wanna do it right. We wanna make it look super professional. And exactly how is this book put together? I thought it would be kind of interesting just to talk for really quickly, just to show you all the things that we have to think about when putting one of these books together. So, first thing I'll show you, this is an 8.5 by 11 book. It's a hardcover, and it's fairly thick. Our book is almost the exact same number of pages as this as well. So, we're going to do a hardcover. Of course, we're doing the soft cover version too, but this is what we're aiming for. Now, a couple things that we're going to look at. Inside here, these are called the end sheets. Tim showed you a copy of his. This one has like a nice little 80s kind of cheetah print. Ours has the background of all the Unspooled tape. It's going to be a great place where Tim can actually go in and sign the book for you if you've pledged for that. So what happens is we print these sheets and they get glued right onto it. I don't know if you can even see that, but that sheet is glued right onto this board and it becomes the end sheets of the book. And then all the pages, so if you've ever seen this book before, all the pages are really nice quality stock. It's all in full color, and that's exactly what we're shooting for with Unspooled. So the book is all written, it's all designed. You just saw some of the proof pages, and now we're just looking into getting it printed.
And as promised, this is a review episode of Tim's Vinyl Confessions. And it's on a band I've been into for a long, long time. One of my favorite, I say newer bands. They started in '89, but as opposed to starting in the early '70s, I suppose. Dream Theater, and a very, very prolific band. It seems like I was just reviewing their last album, Distance Over Time, but that's like 2.5 years ago. They've been very prolific since then. They put out huge live compilation, Distant Memories, at the end of last year. John Petrucci put out a solo album that had his former Dream Theater bandmate, not to mention his brother-in-law, Mike Portnoy, on it. That was kind of exciting. I don't normally pick those things up, but as a big classic Dream Theater fan, I just had to. And Dream Theater seemed to announce a new album kind of out of the blue, which is awesome. There's no long wait. Extreme Speaking of extreme, of course, this is the newest album. That means Mike Mangini's still in the band. This is his 1, 2, 3, 4. This is his 5th album with Mike Mangini, the band, 5th studio album. Let's have a look at it. It's called A View from the Top of the World. Of course, unmistakable Hugh Syme artwork. And this package contains double LP, CD, plus LP booklet, it says. Huh. Somebody tell me what's in here. I'm not opening it. It's on black vinyl. That's pretty cool. I get a little bit of a glare because it is unopened. That's the Shoes from Queensryche's American Soldier album, I think. I mean, it just looks like a Dream Theater album, right? You know what you're getting. And you do know what you're getting because it sounds just like a Dream Theater album, and that's not a detriment. Not one bit. Now, I've listened to this about 4 times all the way through, and the trouble with review episodes is you want to get them out quickly, but sometimes it doesn't really give you enough time to live with the album. Here's the CD. Again, really cool artwork. There's the band. This time around, of course, the album was produced, as the last few have been, by John Petrucci. It's mixed by Andy Sneap, and I think that's new. I don't think that's happened before. And if anything, I think there's a little bit better drum sound on this one. And when I say it sounds just like Dream Theater, you know what you're going to get. You're going to get complexity. You're going to get melody. You know, the band sound is so well defined that, I don't know, it's kind of hard to come up with new things to say about them other than really enjoy this album. If you've never been a Dream Theater fan, this is not going to do it for you. Nothing's going to get you into Dream Theater, certainly not this album. But if you are a fan, I don't see why you wouldn't like this album. Booklet's pretty cool, and in typical Hugh Syme fashion, multiple examples of artwork, and you know, almost every bit of artwork could be used for its own cover in its own right. Band photos, you know, the band's been remarkably consistent as far as the lineup is concerned. That would have made a cool front cover too. 7 tracks. I like the fact that it's just a single album, a single disc anyway. Of course, you know, that doesn't mean that they're short songs. The title song, A View from the Top of the World, closes off, and it's a 20-minute and 24-second opus in typical Dream Theater fashion. Lots of sort of like horror theme titles, not to the lyrics, but the titles: The Alien, Invisible Monster, Sleeping Giant, Awaken the Master. It's really, really interesting. But good stuff on here. I have to say that at this point, my favorite song is undoubtedly track number 5, Transcending Time. I think it's got some really cool melodic parts, and that's something Dream Theater does very, very well. And in an odd comparison, I was having a conversation in the YouTube comments, I think on the last video, where we were talking about Fate's Warning. And Transcending Time, ever so slightly, reminds me of the song Eye to Eye from Fate's Warning's Parallels album, which is a great melodic rock song. Just very, very slightly. And I mean, that's a good thing if I'm reminded of a song that I really like. But that's turned into my favorite so far. I really like The Alien, the opening track. I mean, it's all really good. It's all Dream Theater music. It's just doing what they do and doing it very well. Here's some other little bit of... Does that look like a little bit of leftover from the Clockwork Angels? I don't know. There's the CD itself, too. Like I said, you know, Dream Theater have their fans. They've got their haters. This album, I don't think, is going to change either one of those opinions. Although I will say, if you stop listening to Dream Theater when Portnoy left, emotionally I understand, but you're missing out on some good music. Like I said, this is the 5th studio album they've put out, and very prolific. I mean, they've averaged a new album every 2 years, which is pretty cool and pretty unheard of. So that's my 2 cents. I'm going to continue to digest this, but that's my 2 cents on the latest Dream Theater album, A View from the Top of the World. Thank you for watching Tim's Vinyl Confessions.